start. Okay guys, we are live. Let's start with some music and we will start in a few minutes. So let's go. Nobody's there? What's going on? Nobody's there? I'll be really quick then today. I'll just say hi. And that will be it. Okay. Let me get ready here. Here in Toronto as well. It's sunshine, it's warm, it's summery. No complaints today. Actually, I do have a complaint. I have allergies because of this weather. It looks like it's just you and me, Yogi. So, which means, let me just fold this all up. Which means I'm going to start with yours, Barbie's, and mine sign. It looks like everybody's taking advantage of this beautiful weather. So guys, this is mid-month touch-up. In any case, I actually have to go to my mechanic. I have some issues with my window. And well, everything is blooming here. We just actually started, I guess, like in the Maine, we have a similar, I guess, climate over here. Kind of something is, everything is late. Like in Europe, what's happening here already happened in March. And that's kind of a thing. Barbie's here, Lynn is here. Okay, we have a few people. Ooh, okay, guys, let me actually start recording. I don't know, did you see what happened the last time? Let me start this. Okay, I am now recording all of that. So just if and please remind me each and every time. I kind of like, I'm running out of space on my computer, believe it or not. And I still think that I need to have a backup. I can easily delete it if everything uploads properly. So we are going to do it this way. So there are a few people. So I'm going to go much quicker through everything today, and the reason for that is I have to go to my mechanic to drop off the car, and he only works until 1. So 1 Eastern Standard Time, which is in 2 hours, which means I still have to put the tires in. And so I'm trying to do this within an hour and 15 minutes, which means that I cannot be my regular blabby self. I have to be faster, and I have to be more organized. So I am using, what is this called, the Light Seers Tarot today, and I'm going to just jump right in. So this is Taurus. I'm already putting you out, and Taurus. I'm gonna have a different plan today for the mods. It might be a really quickie mod reading for all mods, with kind of like pulling the card, so all of you can actually contribute your energy. I don't know, maybe it can be messy that way, but we can try. So Taurus, let's go and start with you guys. Good morning, Jenny, how are you? Okay, so let's see. Bonjour, pussycats. Where is Mr. Chris? Ooh, you have 2 of Swords, Taurus. Oh my god, I wanted 3 and I'm getting 20. So you're having the 8 of Wands, you're having the 6 of Wands, but then you have Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune over here. Let me see if you can see them all over there. So 2 of Swords and Ace of Pentacles are sticking out as kind of like, let me just put it this way a little bit. I think what's happening over here, guys, you're maybe a little bit confused over something. 2 of Swords, she's like one of these 2 blindfolded kind of like creatures, sometimes 3 in a deck, right? 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords, sometimes Justice. Justice should be blind, but it shows in most decks, oh, she's not blind, kind of a thing. Okay, I guess Safi fixed the camera in the meantime. I'm going to move it a little bit more. So when 2 of Swords reverses, it basically tells me that you're heading in the wrong direction. You're like dead set on something. You are dead set that you're going in a, let's call it wrong direction. And a Taurus over here, so you think you know what's going on, and the truth is you're making a wrong decision, because you almost like have a remedy over here that is really showing up for you and telling you what to do. And that remedy, 8 of Wands, is always like positive cards and communicate, do stuff, kind of like go forward. That's going to bring victory. Look at that limelight. It's going to be all good. You know, like sometimes when we say things that maybe we tell them in jest, but there's like no way walking them back. I'm just afraid that it might be one of those things, so be very careful. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think, however, that you're going to block yourself some little bit, kind of like off the avenue kind of a thing, right? And that's kind of like really, really kind of like startled or stunned with Ace of Pentacles and a 2 of Swords. Because it's almost like, let's go 1 foot backward, 2 forward, 1 backward. It's almost like kind of standing in a spot kind of a thing. But this is telling you, okay, things are going to switch in your favor. So this is kind of like build up on top of the monthly reading that we had a couple of weeks ago. And this is what it is. Like, I don't know if we have the reading next week. Is the Mother's Day next week? Not Mother's Day, what am I talking about? Victoria Day. I think it's next week. So next week we are skipping over here. Well, Victoria Day is, according to the Queen, we celebrate over here. It's a big fireworks that we have. So Taurus, again, as I said, be careful with some kind of positioning, because positioning can have long-term consequences. You got 1 major arcana card, and this one is a karma card. It's really telling you that karma is in your hands, that you kind of like really need to observe how you deal with other people, especially if somebody is really nice to you. That might come and shift because they might find something out. So this was like a mini warning. It's telling you that you're going to manage to wiggle and try to be on the top, but I would still be very alert. So Jenny, nice. Looks like today we are all swinging somewhere. So again, guys, we don't have the reading next Saturday, but then we have it on the 29th when we'll have monthlies, kind of like my new format, kind of like doing Saturdays. I was supposed to slice them the last time. I just really wanted to see how they sit before I do. So we're going to do it this way instead. So the next sign I'm going to check is Virgo. Do we have any Virgos here? My Mercury is in Virgo, so this is going to talk about my communication. The other planets are important, not only your sun sign. In fact, many astrologers base this entire thing, including Vedic astrology, is based on your ascendant. Interestingly, Virgo is my ascendant in Vedic astrology. So let's see. Timestamp for you, Virgo. Okay, so far I am on a schedule. Good morning, Sally. So good to see you. Oh, there you have a Virgo rising, a lady. So, Virgo, you have 9 of Cups and you have 7 of Swords. It's reversed, luckily. Ooh, and 9 of Swords. Hoo-hee. So 9 of Cups and 9 of Swords, like it's all kind of like culminating into something. Something is happening, something is brewing, my Virgo. Somebody is really pissing you off. Let's put that plainly, pissing you off. See, 9 of Cups is like that exuberant celebration. You think you can really reach out anywhere. And here you're like, why can't I be happy? Why? Right? Like you're like, it's almost like you have these thoughts where you're feeling out of place, that something is really wrong. But this is really telling you, it's telling you that somebody turned their back on you. 7 of Swords is like about like that sneaky nature, and it could be for any reason. Sometimes people just have their own interests, sometimes they don't have their own interests, right? Sometimes they just simply want to be cliquish or bullish, because these two cards together are basically the Tower moment of a sort over here, but not necessarily for you. That can be that you are observing that Tower moment. That can be that you are observing somebody falling apart or somebody being backstabbed. However, you may get blamed for it. There's like the 9 of Swords, the situation that is happening, the situation that is brewing, it's really affecting you. Like I just said, I'm going to get gypsy cards when I see a reading that is maybe mildly negative, and you're getting a house, and house is reversed, right? So now this is really interesting because house I wish that we have a house like this, right? But it's really talking about where we feel at home, and it actually encompasses the people that we have in our life who we actually really want to deal with, right? Who kind of like are close to the chest, just like kind of like confirms the theme that I have seen, that there is like almost coming as a betrayal for somebody close to you, or that maybe you're being kind of like pointed out. It's about family, it's about emotional bonds, right? It could be also about office, because we spend lots of time with those people. But this is also about self-reliance and independence, and kind of like that's going to be that kind of like a challenge, right? Remember, this is like a 2 of Cups card. That will be, I'm having something telling me attacking my computer. I don't think so. So when this reverses, it kind of like talks about that your surroundings are collapsing, kind of like a thing. There is like negativity. It kind of can symbolize breakdowns in family relationships. It can be quarrels, can be even broken dreams. As I said, like you're kind of like scratching your head, kind of like, what do I do? So that, for example, when I have Mercury in Virgo, that would mean my communications need to be on, and I have to literally mince words, kind of like, because it can lead to kind of like breakups, into broken engagements, even divorce, or even dissolved partnerships, right? So what advice I would give you here is like, you need to take stock of relationships, be they at home or in the office or with your friends. So the advice is like, I mean, that, you know, you need to seek protection, literally. And this is like one of those things that you're like kind of experiencing, that somebody is going through the shift of consciousness, and when people go through it, it's almost like explosion, and you might be on the receiving end of that, and that's never actually fun. If a positive news is that you're the catalyst for them, that you're kind of like making change into somebody, but it's not going to mean much to you this week. So kind of like combine this. Hey Chris, thank you very much. Combine this with your monthly reading, and that way you can see pretty much who this person is or people, and that you can go with this, right? And thank you, Chris, and welcome. And you're late, yes. Sally, your connection is bad. They're working on 5G here. I don't need a 5G. I don't have 5G. And so everything kind of like works. So the next one, ooh, I have two. So this one will go first. And can you see the new fresh ones? This is like Pisces. We have Pisces. Any Pisces? I guess raise your hand, guys, if this is your sign or it's something very prominent in your chart. So Pisces. And to the newbies, guys, I'm going really quickly through it. I need to go and fix my windows go down only when I keep the door open, and looks like there's some kind of wiring in my door that need to be fixed. I need to change the tires to some tires, so pick up Tiger. So a whole bunch of things I need to do before they close. Oh, there it is. Hi, Mystic. It's your hubby, Pisces. We have Three of Pentacles. Are you guys working on some kind of project, or is he working on some kind of project? Then we have the High Priestess. That again can be, it's very Pisces. It's very intuitive what they're going through, but this also can talk about a daughter of some sort or her own inner world. That kind of like there is connecting. There is like King of Pentacles over here and Queen of Pentacles. Do you guys have some things that you're not seeing eye to eye, because that kind of shows it? And there's like Seven of Swords, and there's like a Seven of Cups over here. Now that's very complex. That's actually really in-depth reading. Like this is usually a couple that kind of like doesn't sit together, that doesn't see eye to eye. It is breaking up. Somebody is like backstabbing somebody. Somebody is like aspiring to something else. It has a lots of dreamy quality, and like, I mean, that goes between the two of the High Priestess, which is like this moon-oriented card, as well as Seven of Cups, which kind of talks about, what do I really want? And I don't know what I want. What do I really want? As you know that song, right? So King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles can also be a couple that Pisces knows. That maybe you're assisting somebody that maybe it almost looks like that. If that's the case, that you will be closer to a man rather than a woman over here, giving that, mind you, like it's kind of hard in the general reading. It's kind of like think you just start a crystal shop. So that's what it is, a crystal shop. It just like amazes me how your spirit guides, like, I mean, just like, I mean, mentioning this, and this is it. It's collaboration. There's like something mystical over here. King of Pentacles is building the business, but Queen of Pentacles is reversed, and she has reservation. I don't know if that's you, Mystic, kind of like feeling, oh, I don't know, is somebody going to get a better of us? But there are like still a lots of dreams. What is really important, and what advice here is, like, you need to ground those dreams. You need to make them doable instead of being a pie in the sky. So sort of like not too many tasks at the same time, because the moral of the story here is like he's building all of that stuff, and in the end kind of like everything is kind of like leaking out because nothing has been really hatched, if you wish. So just be careful of this. And as I said, somebody is going to be a little bit iffy about this entire situation, and that's also okay, because somebody looks like this also can mean that somebody's going to be told that he or she is too demanding or expects too much, and that kind of stuff. Oh, you're a reader. Even more so over there. That's fantastic. Welcome. I don't think that I've seen you here before, so it will be good to take your take on if you have anything additional to my interpretation, because now and also all my mods are having that incredible intuitive qualities, and they usually add their 2 cents because they kind of like get those messages. So I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Okay, so, okay, Mystic. Some men will always tell us this, but like, I mean, this is kind of like too funny. So, okay. A sip of my coffee, and we are going next. And the next one is Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, let me put a timestamp here for you. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio. At least you're opening with your hobby something that you really like and enjoy, and that's important. Very located mystic. Will be good to know. So, thank you, Barbie, my master moderator. I think Kylie is not here today for some reason. So, let's see. Scorpio. 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 Oh, you also have High Priestess. This is going to be also some. And you have a Queen of Swords. And you have a Three of Pentacles. Alright, Scorpio. You guys feel that you have an intruder in your environment. And I'm glad to hear that. Queen of Swords can be somebody overly brash or overly opinionated, or let's put it this way, like, this is calling for you to have understanding and to say nothing. The High Priestess, she is silent. She entirely communicates with her intuition. And we cannot have intuition when we are angry, right? It's almost like everything goes on the surface, like we feel raw, and everything is like doing in a kind of like really raw manner. So what happens with King of Swords? It's this proverbial PTSD that kind of like we see when she's reversed. So somebody pushes her button, maybe we push their button, but reaction is like way out of proportion, kind of a thing to the issue at hand, right? So it's going to be on to you guys, really, to exercise this compassion, to really say nothing, to even allow this person to speak out, because that's something that is really healing for them. Queen of Swords is actually a lovely person who becomes very unlovely when her buttons are pushed. And the more she's not able to express the things from inside, the more she is going to be acidic, right? And yeah, it's not a fun sight to see when this is happening. But in your case, I think you're going to pass this kind of like whole thing with flying colors, right? And the reason for that is like you're going into this Three of Pentacles, you're going into this, okay, how do we build it? How do we rebuild it? This can be also a criticism that is kind of like directed toward you. You do this, you do that. Like, I mean, it's right away you go like, oh, I just woke up, I'm just having my coffee. What's going on? How long did I sleep? What happened? So this is kind of like talking about collaboration, joining it together, and kind of like working together as a team, because together you can kind of like do better. So this is really important here to acknowledge that you, and I think this is the reason why this is happening to Scorpio, because you're really able to process somebody emotionally and also say, okay, I'll take this baggage, and off it goes, right? Like more than many other signs. So this is why people attract to you, and that's why maybe you have situations where they have verbal diarrhea and you kind of like process it. In this case, you care about this person, and that is very important over here. Alrighty, who's next? And something jumped out. Oh, you're Gemini. Okay. Well, we have a Leo. Who is here? Leo. Sally is Leo. So let's see. Leo. Leo. So let's put a timestamp here. Leo. Leo. And we have Eight of Pentacles. And Seven of Swords is showing up everywhere, which means we have to watch behind our back. We want to watch generally for people's motivations. And we have the Devil that reversed. It kind of like was flying like this and just like landed like this. And boy, who can freaking resist this Devil? Look at that. Isn't this kind of like, oh my God, yeah, sure, no problem. You want my arm? Yeah, here. Okay. So two things. Sorry, I'm coughing This time is not asthma. I think it's allergies with all of the stuff blooming around. So 8 at 7 is 15, devil. And then we have 15, the devil over here as well. So this is pretty much kind of like where you're celebrating yourself on a job well done, right? It's kind of like looking into all the details, and the project is kind of like you're giving yourself congratulations because almost like the next day, the next morning, you're going to announce it to the world that something has been done. And this is it. It's going to come. Look at that. It's almost like you can see the sun bursting over here, like there's like a tremendous amount of energy and celebration. However, we have this moon energy. There's like something emotionally, so it's almost like that you're doing something that somebody else is extremely jealous of. It is like moon in Aquarius. It kind of like really talks about when altruism is the very last thing that we have on our minds, where we just think, oh, look at that, like they have this nice little car, or and I don't. And instead of being happy for them, like you are unhappy for them and you want something bad things to happen. It's kind of like that negative frame of mind also brings you really negativity, but you just cannot help it. And that's also the devil kind of like think inside. You can see him, and there is crystals or pulling strings or something charming. This also can talk about that maybe somebody made promises, or that you thought that you rebuilt something and then something is really moving forward, where in reality there is like much bigger issue over here, that there is somebody who is deceptive. There is like something that is still going on behind the background. And let me just see, is it buffering for you guys? Not for me here. So Lynn is Leo too. Okay, Lynn Westbrook or Lynn H. I have to look at it back over here. So, and then we have Love Reverse, which pretty much is the devil, right? Lovers is the card number 6, devil is 15, so 1 and 5 is 6. So it's almost like lovers is upright and devil is reversed. So this is kind of like, oh, weird. I'm having a goosebumps over here. It's reinforcing this entire meaning, right? So this kind of like suggests the end of love, or maybe you kind of like really worked for a benefit of everybody and now credit is not given or something like that. It can suggest some kind of like frustration in love or marriage, falling out of love. It can be something volatile, or because of the devil, it could be that just like you have a complete lack of sexual compatibility. You know, like when you meet somebody and then, oh, I just felt nothing. Are you a dentist kind of a thing, right? And kind of like it is associated with one very positive card with one negative card. So it kind of like also indicates that maybe if you're on the fence over some situation, that is really coming to an end very, very soon. And it usually predicts a time frame, and it's about a month that is really happening. Also, you have this kind of like earthy component. Be careful also about your spending, guys, Leo, and that is kind of like a really clear warning over here that you really need to watch your finances, because devil makes the third party come through. Devil makes our exes come through. Devil makes us spend too much money. Devil makes us just think about kind of like skin deep kind of a thing. So just be careful about that. Thank you, Mystic. I really appreciate that. And then we have over here, we have Cancer. Do we have anybody who is a dreamy Cancer over here? Let me have a sip of coffee before I put your timestamp. All right, Cancer, your timestamp. Wow, I'm good. I'm doing this on time so far. Cancer. Cancer moon. Whoa, that makes you moody, right, Knitting Yogi, around the full moon? Ooh, holy moly. Well, I'm just going to take the ones that are up, because Cancers, your spirit guides have lots of things to say. So that's you, that's King of Cups, and it's going into the Tower, and then it's going into the Moon. So this is clearly you, Knitting Yogi. And then we have Magician, and then we have Three of Wands, and then we have Ten of Cups over here. it kind of like really reminds me of the situation that I ran into yesterday with Tiger. We walked in our path. There's like this small cemetery, really tiny. And as we were walking through, we saw a coyote. Initially, I thought with my astigmatism, oh, look at the dog over there. No, it was a coyote. And it must be a female. It was very tame, very friendly. Initially, Tiger was, I need to take your head off. And then he calmed down and went down to curiosity. And then I realized coyote is actually the magician. It's kind of like looking at you in a very kind of like tame way. So you would kind of like approach and then basically they lure you and then attack you. They're very smart. I think native mythology is uplifting coyote to the status of God and everything. So it's really interesting when I saw that, and it's combining with the moon and it's combining with the tower. It is really telling me that something really big will be happening in the next 2 weeks for you. Also, of course, the moon is generally relating to you, even though in tarot it more relates to Pisces than to you, but nonetheless it's the water sign that I see here. So if you guys are dealing with Pisces here, then it's going to be really important that you really focus on your emotional well-being, that you really need to rebuild certain things. The certain things are going not in the direction where they should be going, and that's why you have the tower. And the tower is going to be a big shake-up in emotions and how you process it, and it's really asking you to kind of like straighten, what is the word, straighten the wheel and kind of like we move forward. And you will do that very successfully because you have 3 of Wands and you have a 10 of Cups. Together, the second part is 13, which is Death card. So you need to kill some bad habits possibly, or bad interactions or something. I really don't see actually codependency over here. I don't see 15, but I see 16. So it could be that you have already had a stage where you had to have these kind of like dealings. And that's more or less romantic kind of like a thing that you are like learning about yourself. And the way you are, you're very private and you can be really easily hurt. You kind of like really don't want to openly display your emotions just because people can squish you and you don't really want to go into years of healing and licking your wounds. So this is really telling me that you're going to go one of those cave situations and you'll kind of like vanish for a few days, I would say, which can be really rather quickly. It could be really next week that this is all starting to revolve. And remember, 3 of Wands means you're moving forward. You're kind of like looking in a new direction. You're like finding that everything that you love and want is actually there and it is possible. So this is extremely positive reading. And I believe like your spirit guides just dump all of these cards telling you, hey, don't experience this like tower as a huge setback. It is meant there for you to build things properly so you can kind of like move in a really, really positive direction. It's in your 4th house and in yoga, so that's kind of like connecting to your family, to your father, right? It's really interesting. So oh, you also have yin meditation. That sounds like amazing and very relaxing. So how many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I do 6? I did 6. So now I guess angel cards for everybody because we don't have that many people, and then we are going to have a pick a card. Did I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm fast because I know, guys, I told you I need to go and head to mechanic today. So knitting yoga was first. And you got purpose. You kind of like aim higher, I would say. That's what this card really tells me. Then we have Barbie. There is like some kind of commitment. Are you in a school of some sort, or is there some kind of like religious practice? I don't know why this is going through my head, that you have made a promise to somebody, and that's kind of like really important over here. Then we have Lynn Westbrook. Lynn, this one, support. So I don't know if this is you giving somebody support or somebody will be supporting you, or just give and take, because it looks like for 2 of them to get over, they need to kind of like work together. So this is really, I don't know, for one reason I think this is a stranger. You need to kind of like reach out. You need to ask for help and don't be ashamed of it, and you're going to get it. So that's very, very important. Over here, then we have Jenny Richardson. Hopefully you're here. Jenny, you're getting resilience. Kind of like let things just like bounce off you, and the more times that you do it, the bigger resilience you get. The more you're going to laugh about you, about your life, and the more you laugh, the happier you get. So it's kind of like snowball. It's like when you start jogging. The first time is like, oh, I cannot do it for 20 seconds, right? But the next day you're already on 40 seconds, and then in no time, in 20 minutes, literally within a week, this is how this exponentially kind of like goes. Similar with the resilience, and that's kind of like what is really telling you about over here. Who is next? Sally is next. Sally is next. Ooh, Sally, you're getting a whole bunch of them. You're getting love, you're getting strength, you're getting openness and purpose. Strength is your card, you're Leo. I mean, it's almost like identical card, except like almost like looking from two different kind of like thing. So almost like tells me don't be ashamed, be able to be vulnerable, express your love, and kind of like state your intentions, where you really want to go, in which direction you really want to go. And this is for Chris. Chris, we have honesty, you're standing in front of the mirror, and you have purification. Even though it shows probably raining, I don't know, for some reason I see this as sweating. Do you have sorry to say this, Mr. Chris, but do you have a commitment phobia of some sort? And that can kind of like, it was one of the words that kind of like came to mind. Another thing is like, you need to be really clear with yourself what you want, right? Very important. And purification is like kind of like, hey, would I be able and willing to live with that? That kind of like comes across. And then we have Mystic, GG. Mystic, GG. Mystic, did I do the reading for you? I don't know, you look familiar. And then for you, we have power, and look at it, it's almost like the little king or little hierophant. It's kind of like you have like something special, there's like some special gift, and people come to you for advice, and it is really important, right? So just make sure that you don't waste it, right? Sometimes we kind of like want to help everybody, but some people, if not ready, they cannot be helped, right? Did we do Barbie? I don't know if I did Barbie. I'll do Barbie now. Barbie, you have truth. Speak your truth. Kind of like, this is about communication. This is about moving forward. So it's very important that you do it. Thank you, Mystic, for your donation. Did I forget anybody? Did I forget? I think I didn't. I have it all over here. Crunch time. So let's see. Welcome. Now we are going to go pick a card. Where is my deck over here? And to kind of like hide this from you so the cards can actually jump. Ask a question. Think of the question that is more or less ending into the yes or no kind of a thingy, right? So let's see. Think of the question. Think of the question. And think of the question. Okay, we have the left door, center door, and the right door, or 1, 2, and 3. So let me reveal this over here and put this timestamp over here. Alright, so if you picked this one over here, Knitting Yogi said I get local unfiltered honey. It's creamy and has the local pulls in it. Oh my gosh, that's what my brother did with his kid, but I only have it in the beginning of the summer. Okay, if you guys ask for this door number 1, which was like what I in my mind visualized, that I will pick this one unless I see the card. And in the last moment, you know, I did see the card, so I don't even know if this applies on me, but in any case, this is like, the answer is yes. But the answer is yes, that is going to be kind of one of those tricky situations where you almost bully others in kind of like bowing down to you, it is a victory, but it's a victory at a cost to somebody else. So just keep this in mind, that this might not be kind of like permanent, if you wish. Then the door number 2 is like the 8 of Wands. So it possibly you ask about some communication or some kind of like connection, and this is still brewing. It is like still very positive outlook, if you wish. But what's going to happen over here is that it might be delayed, or that you were expecting it sooner than later, but it's going to be kind of like later. So that's also very important to know over here. And the door number 3, check this out. This is absolutely no. You have the 9 of Swords, you have 8 of Swords, you have 6 of Pentacles, and you have a 10 of Wands. So it tells me here that maybe you guys are in a third party situation, possibly, and you know that you feel that somebody's taking advantage of you. You're asking the answers, and the answers are coming, but you're not satisfied with those answers, and you feel really stuck in a situation. If this is not about relationship, it could be work, and again, you're feeling that somebody's taking advantage of you. While they're saying all the right things, they're not doing it. So now just like do as you say, kind of a thing. So I would say be very careful with this, because and this means if somebody's even telling you things, oh, you know, yeah, I'm going to leave her, they might really think that, but it's not going to happen. That's kind of like what I'm warning you here about, guys. So I really hope this kind of like addressed some of the things over here. And I absolutely like local honey meaning yogi, just to say, I mean, when they smell from the local meadow, and I like clover, it's my favorite from all times. I know it's nothing really specific or special, but that's still, I like that smell. And second part, guys, we are going with Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay, let's put the stamp here. Sagittarians. I've got a sip of my coffee here for you. Sagittarius, you have 4 of Pentacles, and then you have a 7 of Pentacles. And then 6 of Cups. So yeah, Sagittarius is like on the other side of the teeter-totter with Gemini, right? Gemini is ruled with Mercury. So needless to say, if one side of the teeter-totter is affected, the other one is again also going out of balance. This is why it's always good to check your counter sign as well. Hello, Lorna H. And so what is really happening here is like kind of like holding something to yourself. Maybe you're not openly expressing what you want. This can really talk about some kind of legal processes in your case, or can talk about some balance, or you feel that something is, let's say, unjust of some sort, and that's why you have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So look, he's healing that with his own hands. He's kind of like putting all of that energy into kind of a growth of something. But when this is reversed, like, I mean, he needs healing versus that he can kill something. So maybe you guys are dealing with some issues of your own, of some sort. As I said, there's like some sense of universal balance, right? But there's also a sense of hopefulness, of being wishful thinking. And isn't this kind of like really amazing, kind of like you're growing up with somebody and kind of like having your friend. And 6 of Cups is kind of like sharing. It's kind of like really deep bond that you can have with somebody. And again, it's kind of like the counterbalance of kind of like the teeter-totter that I see over here. And what really needs to take place here, and I really think this is like the pre-Mercury retrograde, and that's where I'm heading with this, is that some things from the past can be resurfaced, and that's why you'll be guarded, and you'll be called into something, and you're going to say, well, you know, I thought we resolved this, I thought we are moving forward, I thought, you know, that I have proven myself, and it's going to feel like, oh my God, like I'm in this kind of like Groundhog Day kind of like movie of a sort. So, but Six of Cups also talks about reminiscing about the past and maybe being a little bit withdrawn, kind of like being on your own. And other people can interpret that as kind of like rejection of a sort, or that you don't want to grow something. So be careful that when you point finger at somebody, it could be that they're actually seeing you as kind of like the obstacle toward kind of like reaching some kind of like agreement or something like that, right? So that's very important. Lorna, we just did the angel cards. You relate, you're getting tenderness. So apply a gentle touch to everything around you. That's kind of like the message. So we are now on to Gemini. Okay, Geminis, we finally got some Geminis over here. I'm glad to see that. Gemini. And did I put the stamp? I didn't. Okay. Gemini. Did something flick? It's interesting, we had Sagittarius, now we have a Gemini, almost like a counter kind of like point to what I did. Ooh, you have 8 of Swords. This is a heavy, heavy card in this deck. And then you have 8 of Pentacles. So you're dealing with, and then you have Ace of Cups. So there is like something, guys, that you're dealing with, and you're trying to find avenue in how to deal with. It's kind of like, it's very hard for you to understand why certain things are happening and why they are going in a certain direction, right? Because look at her. If you see her here, she's quite comfortable with herself. She's looking up, but kind of like she's not seeing herself the way other people see her, which is kind of like maybe kind of like tying the knot. Maybe the issues are happening. She's also blindfolded, so hence she really doesn't know how to access the situation. So it's almost like, if you wish, Stockholm syndrome, that you're happy about the situation that you really shouldn't be happy about at all, that everybody's horrified, right? And it's almost like this to me is like a movie when they make a cut and then you go to the scene that was not related to the first scene with these 2 eights, even though technically the eights should be all kind of like sisters, but it almost like are the sisters in 2 different households, and they're like going through completely different non-relatable things. Because 8 of Pentacles is always about accomplishment. It's about working on it. Like, I mean, you are improving yourself. There are certain things that are really happening over here, like you're looking in the details of some sort, but they together create Tower. However, since we don't have any major arcana to cut my numerology, it is all coming to 17. So there is like a huge amount of hopefulness. There is a huge amount of like, you want to work on something or on somebody or some kind of like project. However, the Ace of Cups, and I think this is related to 8 of Swords. I also want to tell you that whenever I see 8 of Swords, it is dealing with somebody who is taken. It's dealing with women. I have these readings, women after women, dealing with the long-term relationship they have with somebody who is promising to leave. Why? But it's always something, right? It's always something. And this is telling me they are not going to. This is telling me that they are the one who are stuck. He's telling them something that they can kind of justify the situation they are in, right? This is again confirming to me that no amount of working hard on something is not going to go forward. So if you're feeling in a situation that you're pedaling in a situation like, I mean, and going forward, and try to check if you have the chain on this bicycle, because it almost feels like that there's like something going on here in the spot. So specifically, I really want to warn you that if you're going to invest a lot of time or money, because Pentacles can mean money, make sure this is like investment well researched before it is kind of like done, because it can create one of those regrets, or you know, a buyer's remorse kind of a thing, as they say. So important here to know. How many signs do we have? We have 4 more. It looks like I'm going to do it in time. Then we have Aries, 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 Aries. You just got it. It's like, I want this. And Aries, you have Ace of Wands, somebody from the past. Whoa, you have the World, but then you have a Five of Pentacles. So this really tells me you're going to be a little yo-yo this particular next 2 weeks, right? So Ace of Wands, it's kind of like this opening. It's fire. It's just like a massive freaking vagina kind of a thing. Maybe sex is on your mind if you really want to think about it, right? So Ace of Wands means kind of like reviving either a relationship from the past or something that you have started and feeling strongly. And this is usually what happens when you get into Mercury retrograde. We are still not in the Mercury retrograde, but by the time of these 2 weeks that we are reading for, we will be. So this is what is really happening. And it's telling you, you know what, put a freaking stop on that. Put, if you have aspiration to something, just do it no matter what. Even if you think you're not going to be successful, get it out of your mind. This can also be interpreted like, I mean, middle-age kind of like crisis, as they say, like you get like sports car, you get this and get this, and it's like everybody's laughing. Why you're doing this? It's like so out of your character. Well, you're doing this because you want to live it. Like you just wanted to do this. Like, and why not? It is your life, not everybody else's, right? This kind of like worries me each and every time I see this card. However, in this deck, it's very different. There's like somebody who is upset. There's somebody who, usually in Five of Pentacles, at least we see another person. Even though we feel hardship and we feel hard times, at least we have one person who is there with us, who can give us this hug. Here, we don't have this person, and somebody's like completely in her own thoughts, lost. So why is she not opening this door when the key is provided here is a question, right? So Five of Pentacles can make you feel inadequate, can make you feel uninvited. Be also very careful if you are willing to get yourself involved with somebody who let's say presented the trouble in terms of misleading you or dishonesty, and now they're changed just because they say so. Be very careful, because they haven't changed. And it's going to be, the world is like literally the whole message and the whole attitude here is not about what is happening. It's about what is happening inside of you, because this is a karmic shift for you. It's a really good karmic shift. Like you finish the cycle, you're going in the next cycle, and the next cycle you're going to start a little bit with being kind of like on a funky kind of like a side, but nonetheless, whatever it was with somebody from the past, or you're going to know, this can be a complete stranger that's going to feel like that you have an outburst, because this is very fiery kind of like situation. It's something that is really tectonic shift over here. It's almost like internal earthquake, right? And hence you're going to feel, oh boy, why did I allow this person back in my life, or why did I even go in this direction? But nonetheless, it's all positive. This is really telling you you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and this is what exactly had to happen. So for example, you're traveling somewhere and your car breaks down and you're swearing, and your job is online, you didn't show up somewhere, right? But then you realize, you know, because you have stopped there, you have been prevented of something horrible happening, of maybe you dying. And then you realize, when you put this in a big perspective, this was all positive. So this is one of those situations that I see over here. And we have 3 left. Let's go with this one. Aquarius. We have next Aquarius. And then we have after that left Libra and Capricorn. So let's see. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, what do you have for us Aquarians? What we need to know for this like mid-month top up to that reading? Nothing? Okay, that's it. Done. Okay. All well? Is it all well? Looks like it's all well. There are some answers. So we have a King of Cups, we have 8 of Cups reversed, and then we have a 5 of Pentacles reversed. Now this is really strange. First, I didn't get any messages. And I usually, because I'm Aquarians, I get more messages than for the other signs. So somebody coming through, there is like emotional growth in our lives. As you know, we Aquarians can be very cold and can be very emotional. I mean, I'm Aquarius close to Pisces, so I tend to be very emotional. And also I'm an empath, but they are Aquarians. My banker, the Taurus, she tells me her mom is Aquarius. She says, I don't know, like she's a robot. It's almost like she pushes the button when she has to put a smile on, kind of a thing, right? So, but this really tells me it's going to be some kind of like emotional period of somebody's coming, like it's going to feel like coming home. And these two cards, if they are upright, they wouldn't be that great cards, but they are reversed and they're making sense. You know, they're making that 13, 8, and 5, which is a death card. And I don't know if you guys had some emotional suffering, or you just like felt you're trying to head somewhere and you're never reaching this destination. You're always either sidetracked, or somebody prevents you, or something is coming in a way. So 8 of Cups is like she's no longer walking away. She's coming back. She's coming back to that old fire. So clearly that means coming back with an old partner. That partner could be a water sign, or could be somebody emotional, could be very prominent moon, or maybe with a partner you have already had something, let's say end of February, let's say March, kind of like during the Pisces season. And the 5 of Pentacles actually in the situation tells the same. 5 of Pentacles, as I was just explaining previously, which sign this was just before this one. Was it the Sagittarius, I think? I don't know. So this is what, or Gemini, I think, right? So this is like what she is crying, and she's trying to find a way, but looks like she's not trying to find a way, because Key is here, she can get out of the situation. So here in the situation, like everything really opens. This is also sometimes the card that talks about a return, or reunion, or somebody coming back, or kind of like there is like now understanding. Finally somebody's open to communication, somebody's open to discussion. So I'm going to draw just one gypsy card over here. And this is, do you know like why this is happening? It's happening because Aquarius is reaching emotional maturity. This is what King of, like, yeah, it's a reunion, but it is reversed over here. It's like something that we wanted, and we wanted badly. It's there, it's offered to us, but it almost looks like to say, you know what, I wanted this badly, why don't I want it now, kind of a thing, right? It's kind of like, it's not necessarily that it's not going to happen, but it's about postponing, or it could be a meeting, something that you are kind of like avoiding of a sort, right? If this is some kind of like business situation, maybe it's some kind of like important meeting that needs to kind of like be addressed or something. But this is also sometimes warning, as I said to you initially, that reconciliation is not going to happen. So everything is here. Like now we have this emotional core. Now we know who we are. We maybe went through hell because of somebody, and now we are healed, and that somebody's coming back, and we are like, oh my gosh, I would give my left arm and my right arm for us to be together 6 months ago. But today, I don't know. I really don't know about it. So this is really kind of like important over here, because if you really look at it, like we have a backdrop over here that is like some kind of like a forest, right? Which talks about health or lack of health of this relationship. So Aquarius, this is really good, because Aquarius is here to bring progress to humanity, to people. And unfortunately, you always come with the yin and yang. This comes with missing wheel in emotional department, which means that we have repaired the wheel right now, and hence we can move forward. So no matter what happens, decision is going to be on us, and we will do it. So now I'm getting, YouTube is not receiving enough videos, so hopefully we continue and sustain. So Capricorn, Chris, you didn't tell us what's going on with you. You're strangely silent over there. Did I put Aquarius stamp? I did. So let me see. We are going to do Capricorn next. Capricorn. And Barbie, the moderator, is going to go last. Capricorn. Yogi says, I had an old partner, a Cancer, send me happy Mother's Day. I didn't respond. That's the best. It's just like kind of like, why are we opening that gate over there? Capricorn, you have a Four of Cups. It's kind of like Four of Cups is always about emotionally everything seems to be offered, but then we still feel that we are lacking something. And then you have Four of Pentacles and Nine of Swords. You're beating yourself down over something. You're like two fours, so that means you're craving to feel firmness. You're craving to feel comfort in a situation. You're craving to feel satisfaction, kind of like that you are quote unquote at home. But they're like cups and pentacles, so that means it's not time and place, but it's a place and emotion. So maybe these two things are not jiving, right? This also could mean, so 8 and 9, right? You're talking about 17. That you're not really hopeful about something. And Nine of Swords is not a good card. This is always, to me, especially you can see this like one of those cross is invented. That this is like lots of products in our mind. That there is like something going on through our heads where we are anticipating certain things to happen that might not happen, holding close to your chest. And Four of Cups is also, again, check this out, look at this rainbow, look at this like burst of energy coming through, but we feel a little bit bruised and we feel kind of like displaced, that we are looking in a different direction. So that's really interesting. I'm going to draw clarify here because lots of things are happening, but nothing is major arcana, which is kind of good. So like everything can be modified, like with our own free will. Major arcana cannot be modified. And you have conversation, but it is reversed. So does it mean there is like a lack of conversation, that you really want to process everything inside, right? It's really interesting because when it comes reversed, it's lack of the communication or something that really needs to be talked, but you don't want to talk because you know the talking is not going to bring the results that you really want. So you know, like if kind of like I can say something like, you know, that the expression silence is golden, I would kind of like really apply it here, right? Because if this is about love relationships, then there could be some dispute that it kind of like it remains unresolved. And also there could be like similar misunderstandings, you know, like sometimes you just like see somebody in a different light and you go, oh, I just cannot deal with this, I don't want to deal with this, right? So be very careful because you know, there's like something, because this is the Ace of Hearts, this is like kind of like Ace of Cups, which kind of like reversed, right? It also can be about people you live with, that you're trying to separate from it and be kind of like a little bit in your own world. So as I said, emotionally you feel a little bit misplaced and you feel a little bit that you need to protect yourself. Financially, this is really important, your earth sign, and hence you really don't think you can find a solution. It's going to be a little bit of those situations. So let me put those back here for now. And look at this, I'm doing really on time. And then we have Libra. Madame Barbie is Libra. This is my ascendant. We are coming last over here. Let's put a stamp. I was like so upset last time, like we had such a good reading, it was such a good topic that YouTube just cut off half of it. It really sucked. Ooh, am I recording this? Well, if I'm not, then it's too late. Oh, I am. Good. I thought I am recording it. Libra, we have the Sun, the Star, and the Judgment. Well, the Star is positive also when it's down. The Sun is positive when it's down, almost like more positive if you wish. These two cards combined are spectacularly good combination, and also you have the Judgment. So Libra, something really big will happen, and it's almost good because like imagine like when, you know, somebody gives you a huge task and like you're called to boss's office and they're giving this, you must do that, and you're thinking, how the heck would I do that? It's kind of like you're combining this project management in your head with your resources and everything, and you're kind of like mulling it over. okay, if I just go extra hours, if I do that, you know, I can do that. And then you realize that somebody at home is giving you equally big task and everything, and so you just feel it's kind of like pile on kind of a thing, and you're already feeling a drain of energy, kind of like that is really happening. That's kind of like what I see here, right? But this is really important. It's almost like they're like some kind of like last minute, let's call them karmic preparations, because this is karmic card. There's like a huge release. Libra, there has been something that you know how we have this karma. Sometimes we are good, sometimes we are bad. And we live our lives simply to clear it out, to try to get a better understanding of the other people. This is kind of like the key, right? We are moving through all these houses, through all these different signs, trying to see a different kind of like perspective on different kind of like topics. So with the sun and the star, right? So this is really interesting because you might be connecting to Aquarians, you might be connecting to Leo or Scorpio. So they're like very fixed signs as well. So when you have such a big connection with fixed signs, this is almost like shift. It's, but I'm seeing one of those Indiana Jones shifts where you have like this cliff and there's like a river and canyon of some sort, and you're thinking, man, I have to be on the other side, but there's no way. And then you see the shift, and then all of a sudden the bridge is appearing, and you go to this bridge, you cross it, and the bridge closes down. So you are getting this kind of like opening, my dear Libra. It's not going to be anything that you can do or change. It's at some point you're going to feel that you want to resist the process. You won't be able to. You're going to be holding onto this bridge and kind of like, and it's going to be already the vanishing effect that you need to run and you need to move forward, right? It's just going to be here that something is happening to you. You are feeling you're not ready. You're feeling you kind of like want to rebalance. Be very courageous, because these are really good cards. You're getting 3 major arcana. You're the only sign, and hence I guess this is why you have been chosen to be last, that is releasing something majorly. It's almost like I'm going to tell you that when we finish these 2 weeks, starting this 1st of June, you are going to be in a completely new phase of your life. Just mark my words about that. So that's very important. Jenny, thanks for being here with us. You're welcome. You can stay around maybe for another minute or so. We're having a pick a card next. And yeah, Barbie, it was a good energy. So that's why I was like, why YouTube has to mess with that. So let's do the pick of card second one. I'm going to put the stamp over here, and then I'm going to do the mods reading in the end, and I'm right on time. I wanted to do 12:15, and I think I'm going to manage to do that. All right, so guys, different questions that you had the last time. I already have the first one, and I already have the second one, and I already have the third one. So let's do that. So we have the door number 1. I would say no. What do you think? I would say not necessarily, because no is a no. Like this, in a sense, is a good card. I know it doesn't look great, but it's kind of like meaning the worst is over. Somebody's running to you, somebody's helping you, somebody's like giving you a hand to pull you up, kind of a thing, right? But you feel betrayed by the system. I would say the system betrays you, other people betrayed you, and almost like you don't want to be a part of it. So it's almost like a change of environment of some sort. And even though you are kind of like, now there is like understanding that you need to be helped, kind of like you really don't want to deal with this anymore. So that's really interesting. So door number 2 is weird. Queen of Cups, but then we have the 2 of Pentacles reversed. The Queen of Cups is like, yes, if you have asked for some emotions or something, emotions will be given, but not the assurances of a sort. So I love you, but let's talk about things later, kind of a thing, right? So something is like still up in the air. Usually when there are 2 of Pentacles, is like this kind of like infinity, and you're feeling same old, same old. So it might be a little bit of a status quo in a situation. And look at that, it's like 1, 2, 3, kind of like a bundle of things. So here we have Seven of Swords, which talks about betrayal. It talks about turning back on somebody. This could be you turning back on somebody else and say, you know what, I need to cut my losses, off I go. And it kind of like sends you for a spin and wonder if you have done the right thing, kind of like looking things in a completely different way, now being withdrawn, maybe being regretful, or maybe simply being expressing blessing that you are out of some situation that maybe had lots of arguing of some sort. So if I have to summarize it with yes or no, I would say actually there are no conditions here for this to be fruitful, to move forward. Because even the conversations are more or less arguments, sort of like you're not addressing the issue, you're simply kind of like just bundle of emotions. You did this to me, you did this to me, and that kind of like sort of things. So about that, Barbie, so that's kind of like pick a card. So now I'm going to do a mini mod reading, literally mini. I'm going to just pull a few cards for all my mods, and then I'm going to put cards for all my mods, not angel cards. So, ooh, and I didn't put Aries stamp. I'll put a question mark here for this. I'm trying to remember where was Aries before I forget. Let me see. Libra, Capricorn, Aquarius. Aries was after Gemini and before Aquarius. So I'm just going to put sort of stamp that might fit over here. All right, everybody, guys, thank you for being here. Let me just grab a few cards for the mods and just see what mods need to know. And the mods are getting Ace of Swords reversed. Ooh, look at that. That one jumped, wants to go, and then it's like the world reversed. This is karmic, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. 2 3s and 7 and 1. So it's 8, 11, 14. And 14 is temperance. It's really talking about being at the odds with being with odds with what we think we can do, what we cannot do. So so there are lots of signs coming through here. These are like 2 karmic cards, and we have the Aquarius, we have Scorpio, we have Taurus, we have a Leo, we have air signs, we have earth signs over here that are really coming through. So there's some good news, and this kind of like tells me that maybe we feel faced with some kind of injustice. Maybe we feel that somebody has lied to us, kind of a thing. Maybe we feel that like, I mean, this old construct that we call our life, who we are, like every cell of our body is somehow wobbling of some sort. This is not a good feeling over here. But having said that, then this is stabilizing, and it's stabilizing to the point that we are going to decide, look, I need to rebuild myself. I need to find maybe new friends, and maybe need to find a new environment. And hence I really feel this is kind of like our energy, that we are like simply kind of like walking away. Maybe, you know, we are taking like lessons from some kind of situation. It could be like these 5 swords. It's kind of like something that goes through us. And even if it's an injustice, which I think it is, because Ace of Swords is like a reverse, it's about lies, it's about somebody not telling us what we need to know, right? And you're really wondering, like, I mean, why? It was something really easy that would protect you, that would mean a world to you, and this is just like not given to you. But this ability that we kind of like raise, like the phoenix from the ashes, and that we are saying, you know what, I would still do it. I would still protect you. I would still do something, because generally fixed signs talk about some kind of protection as well. But if you're this way, that's fine. This is your karma, and I would still do it. Nonetheless, I don't think I will be going in this kind of like situation in the future, and I have done my share. I have done my karma, and now we are done. And this is like something that will be happening almost like this, yeah. This week. That's for all mods. And now I'm going to go one by one, needing Yogi to answer your questions. So you are first. The card that you are getting is this one came through. You're getting the Hangman. It's reversed. So you're failing to see something. just ask yourself, what am I failing to see? Because the Hangman is supposed to be this way. You're supposed to kind of like do some sacrifices, but it's this way. So you think you are doing it, but you're not doing it. So I don't know if this can talk about your yin thing, that you need to immerse yourself a little bit different. So it's asking for some kind of like suffering, because that suffering is going to open that gate that you need to have. So think about it. It's kind of like, if it's too easy, you are on the wrong path, kind of a thing. Then Barb, you're getting like 2 of Wands reversed. It's kind of weird because all of these cards are not going to relate to this generic one that we had, and it's different over here. It's like not only one dude, right? So we have here 2 different dudes, because we see actually 3 arms. Can you see that? And one has like this swirly thing, while this guy is in the gloves. It's almost like, looks like there are 2 different kind of like casts, like 2 different layers, and somebody really wants to go in a different direction, and there's like something in a way. So you need to, Barbie, remove some obstacles. They're minor ones, given their wands, and you need to kind of focus where you're going, so the universe can start generating those experiences for you. Then we have a Lynn Westbrook. Woo. Lynn is like 3 of Swords reversed. Remember kind of like how we also had 3s over there, 2 3s. You have been hurt. Who hasn't, right? But like, because we had the World card and it was reversed, which is not the best place to be, it's really telling you individually where it's going to trigger you, and it's going to be about something that you don't feel comfort. This could be about a third party situation, that somebody loves somebody else more than you, that you feel shortened of some sort, or that you feel slighted of a sort, right? And that kind of a situation may resurface here, and it can show over there. Then I have that's Lynn Westbrook, I think. Lynn, you have a Page of Swords. It's about speaking your truth, and it's about some bluntness and candidness is really important. So or somebody might come toward you in the same fashion, kind of like blabbing their freaking face out. But Page of Swords is always somebody who has willingness to expand, to learn. So don't take this against them, as this is going to be a positive development over here. Then we have Sally. This is for the mods only, guys. Ooh, Sally. There's like a sadness over something in your world, Sally, sorry to say. And it's again pointing out to you and telling you, look, you really need to observe something that still works, something that is given, something that can be built upon. But for some reason, you're looking at the losses versus the wins, right? Chris. Oh, the Tower. Okay, so something has been built improperly. Something is affecting you because of that. So it just needs to be ripped apart and built in a way that actually fits, that kind of like all the puzzles come to the right place. Speak your truth. Demand. This is Mars. It can actually talk, it's Mars combined with water. It can talk about tense situation. It can talk about argument. It can talk about temporary kind of like feel of a letdown. But again, remember, like something hasn't been built properly in the first place, so now it's actually opportunity to kind of like rebuild it, and that's very important over there. And this is it, right? Did I forget somebody? I think Lorna H showed up at some point. There it is. She did. Lorna H. And Lorna, you have the Lovers, and you have like a 10 of Pentacles. But it's 16 also. It kind of like has a slight tower. So it's about the relationship. It's about building those bridges and building these bonds with the other people. Having said that, it's really telling you that maybe you are in a relationship with somebody that your family might not accept, or that you feel that it's not going to go well, and or you're maybe putting a brave face over something that you know, like, I mean, it's not exactly the ideal situation, or maybe you're even hiding the situation and presenting it in a much better light. In any case, this is actually very positive altogether, and it's again saying if there are issues that you feel that you cannot go out in the open, then you really need to go out in the open. This is why they're naked, kind of like just speak your truth, be blunt. Love conquers all, kind of like a thing, and our convictions are really important, so kind of like stick to it, and go forward. And did I forget any of my mods? I don't think I did. Look at her, Barbie 1111. So when I put it a notice on Instagram, kind of like come and join us, it was really interesting because it was just counting down from 1111 at this stage. So guys, it's, as I said, it's going to be short today because I'm running right now to drop my car off over the weekend. So I'll be enjoying this beautiful weather just simply on foot, but I guess I have to learn how that really looks like. Luckily I live around lots of parks, so it's not going to be that horrible. So I love you all. We are not going to do anything the next week, and then we're going to resume on the 29th when we have the monthlies. So I hope everybody kind of like gets well, and I'm going to post the timestamp so you can rewatch it. And until the 29th, I wish you all the best. Combine these with the monthly readings to kind of like get a better kind of like outlook, and we'll go from there. So let me just play some music for us, and we'll go with that, and I'll talk to you very, very soon. Have a great weekend, and then I'm going to celebrate Victoria Day, which means trying to get rescue remedy for Tiger so he doesn't freak out from the fireworks. All the best. I love you, and contact me if you need anything from me. Bye bye.